Stoke City nil, Coventry City 1, and what a performance it was from our away team. We keep a clean sheet for the first time in a long time in the league. We get the goal from Mason Clark, an acrobatic masterclass from him. Lampard's substitutions again just works fantastically well, and we took all 3 points back to the CBS when we play West Bromwich Albion after the international break. If you're new to the account, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've passed 500 subscribers, so I greatly appreciate anything that we can get on top of that. And if you're buzzing after that Coventry City win, which means we're 5 points clear at the top of the table going into the international break, leave a like on the video. That'd be much appreciated. So just a heads up, I've only gotten about 3 hours sleep because in Australia the game was at 2 o'clock in the morning. I went to bed probably around half 11, 12ish. So I only got about an hour and a half sleep. Then I went to bed around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I woke up at 8 o'clock. So I haven't had much sleep. So this match reaction probably will be all over the place, but bear with me. I'm going to try and keep it as professional as I can. I think the first half was very 50-50, probably leaning towards Coventry. We had the better chances. We weren't necessarily creating clear-cut chances, but Johansson, their goalkeeper, was forced into making a couple of really good saves, especially that top one outside of the box was a fantastic save, and then the top free kick where he gets a glove on it. I think his match rating was a 6.8, something like that on FotMob. I think that's very harsh on him. He was one of their best players for me. Thomas on the left wing for them didn't impress me. I didn't notice him one time in that game. I don't know why Stoke fans were hyping him up. Probably he's done fantastic in other games. I can't doubt that. But against Coventry, I didn't notice him one bit. And I think as a Stoke fan, you've got to come away from that a little bit disappointed. Yeah, you conceded a last minute goal to a fantastic goal, a world goal, probably Puskas worthy goal. At the end of the day, you're the home team. We dictated the tempo from my point of view. We controlled the game, and away from home, that shouldn't be happening on your turf. As you can see the stats, Stoke had 46% possession, Cov had 54. We had a better XG, more shots on target, and Stoke City, for all their attacking threat that they've had in the previous game, scoring 3, scoring 5, not conceding many goals, they didn't actually do too much to penetrate our defence. The only chance I can really remember is that one in the first half where they're on the left hand side and they whip it back post and he goes to like hit it and it almost hits his head. Thomas-esque for when we played against Derby County, and that could have gone in on another day and that could have been their luck, but fortunately for us it didn't go in the back of the net and we survived. And when it was 0-0 all the way up until the 85th minute, I was pretty happy to take a draw away from this. We didn't play necessarily amazing, or we played to our levels that we have done previously in the season, but going to Stoke is a tough game. And even though we won there in our previous 2 meetings at their home ground, I still was going into this game, and while the game was going on, I was still comfortable with a draw. Because if we got a draw in this game, we would have been 3 points clear of Middlesbrough, who ended up winning their game in the league. So we still would have had a comfortable lead going into international break, but just getting those 3 points, especially in a game that we're necessarily not playing the greatest football that we have done all season, is so vital for teams who win the championship. Last minute winners is what Coventry have done over the past 3-4 seasons, including when Frank Lampard came into the club. We scored a last minute winner against Stoke City at our ground last season, Bobby Thomas, so we know how to score these last minute winners. And they're so vital. 3 points is so much bigger than getting 1 point. I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's so important, especially going for the title challenge like we are, and you're seeing these teams like Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester, they're starting to pick up a little bit of momentum, and we've got to keep that gap as long as we can. And I'm not expecting us to keep this winning streak forever. We're going to go for a patch where in 5 games we're going to get probably 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses, something like that. And then that's when they're going to play catch up on us and see if they can make the gap go down from 11 or 7 points all the way down to 4 or 6. So I'm really happy that we came away with 3 points. As I said, Mason Clark, what an absolute demon he was today on the left hand side. Everything went to him, which I feel a little bit sad for Sakamoto, because the last game he played well in that second half and we just didn't use him today. I don't know why Lampard opted to go on the left hand side, but we got the win in the end. Does it really matter what happened during the game? I think it is. I think when you look at games that you win and you necessarily don't play your best, it's always nice to dissect it and see where could we improve. It was a little bit like the Watford game in the sense of we could have lost that game and people had a go at me for being too critical in the team, but then we lost to Wrexham, and you've just got to be critical in every single performance that you made. Haji Wright up front today was non-existent again. He looks very sluggish on the ball. He gets into those positions where a few seasons ago, he's taking on the man. He's got the ability to just zip past them and then have a shot at goal. But today, for some reason, he was just so sluggish on the ball and he was like falling over it, a bit like Milan in the last game. He's not filling me with any confidence up front, and I love Haji Wright. I don't think Ellis Simms is anywhere near the level that Haji Wright is, but Ellis Simms has coming on in games and impacting it, and I think it's time that Simms deserves a start up front. The two fullbacks today, De Silva, Van Ivek, they were fantastic. Bobby Thomas commanding as always in defence. Rushworth was one of our better players today. Necessarily didn't have too much to do, but his distribution, the calmness on the ball, just to play it out of the back, was really, really impressive. And you could see the difference between the two goalkeepers today, Johansson and Rushworth. Rushworth had the options to play out from the back. We didn't let Johansson do that one bit. All you had was Thomas Asante and Hadji Wright sitting like this. Johansson had the ball and he kept touch, 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 touch. He had no one to pass it to, and we forced them to go long every single time, and it worked to a T. We just kept mopping it up. Grimes would get onto the ball, he would control the ball, and then we'll take possession back again. We absolutely bossed them when it came to that. If we're talking about a percentage of how much Cov deserved to win the game compared to Stoke, I think it's 60-40. It's almost 50-50, but at the end of the day, we made that one crucial substitution, which was Ellis Simms. He came on, made the impact, and then we got a wonder goal. On another day, maybe the referee disallows that for a high foot. I've seen that happen a load in the Championship, so some Stoke fans might be a little bit aggrieved that it wasn't called. I don't see anything wrong with it because he already hit the ball before the guy went in with his head, and the player going in with his head wasn't actually in any danger from like a stud or anything. So yeah, I think it was a perfect call from the referee. He could have easily disallowed it, but he let it go through, and hopefully Mason Clark is okay. I don't know what happened to him. Maybe it was a concussion, but he was down for a long time. He had to take the stretcher off. I'm sure he'll be okay from what I heard in Frank Lampard's post-match interview, and it's at a perfect time where we have the international break coming up where he can just rest. He's got no more football for about a week and a half. Let him rest because we're going into a crucial part into the season where it's 11 games, 10 games back to back. It's crazy. We've got 3 games when we come back. We've got, the weekend game, the midweek, and then the weekend again, and then we're going again. It's just relentless, the Championship, and we need all these players to come back. 2 things to note about the game. One thing, I think we really struggled up front. We were too selfish today. Instead of playing that extra pass, you had Hadji Wright taking shots outside of the box, which he's never going to score. Milan also doing that. Victor Torp. On another day, when we're actually fluid and we're flowing, we play those balls into the channels and then we put it into the box. We make that extra pass, but today we got a little bit greedy for my liking up front, and if we took the time and the care with the ball, I think we could have stuck 2 past them today. And then the second thing is Mark Robins in his post-match interview, basically saying that we're a long ball team and a throw-in team. I mean, isn't that what he exploited when he was at Coventry also? Milan's long throw-ins. He can't whinge about that when he's the one who basically built the team that Lampard's using right now, bar a couple of players, bar Rushworth, bar Grimes. I think that's real sour grapes from Mark Robins, but at the end of the day, he can't come out and say that we played fantastic football. He's the manager of Stoke nowadays. He's not Coventry's manager anymore. He has to play the game of being a manager, hyping up his own team, and then looking for chinks in our armour. So it is a little bit annoying, but I understand where he's coming from. So a fantastic 1-0 win for Coventry. Let's move into my player ratings. Rushworth, I don't think he deserves an 8.3 that FOTMob gave him. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. He didn't do anything wrong today. He necessarily didn't make any world-class saves. I think his distribution was fantastic, and that's probably why they gave him an 8.3, but a 7 out of 10 for me. Van Ivek at right back, 7.5. He was phenomenal today. That little moment in the game where the left winger was closing him down and he just knocked it past him and ran past him, that is absolutely pulling his pants down, and I found that so hilarious. He's so good when he's on it. He's one of the best right backs in the league, and if we get promoted, he can be a starting right back in the Premier League. There is no doubt in my mind. Bobby Thomas, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. He was commanding in that centre back role again, and you just see how much we miss him when he's not there. And there's not much else to say. He's just the same every single game. He's fantastic. He's not making any defensive errors like he was doing earlier in the season. He's just amazing. Kitchen, I'll probably give a 7 out of 10 also. His passing today, we didn't use it to our benefit. Usually when we're in defence, Thomas plays it to Kitchen. Kitchen switches it out of Sakamoto, and then he takes on the fullback. But that didn't happen that often today. I don't even remember one time. So Kitchen was kind of forced to play within himself a little bit today, but still fantastic performance. Clean sheet. First one in a long time, as I said. Got to give him a 7 out of 10. De Silva, he's bordering on an 8 for me. He did not get beat once on that right-hand side. He was phenomenal. Thomas Asante helped him defensively at times, which also benefited him, but I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he was probably man of the match for us, De Silva. He was cooking. Grimes, I'll give him a 7.5 out of 10. Every single time, he gets the ball. He's just so calm on it. And the way he talks in press matches and post-match interviews, he's just a calm person. And that personality shows on the pitch. He is so good. He could play in the Premier League also. A lot of people have said this, whoever's trained with him. They say, why hasn't he played in the Premier League? He can definitely do it. He's the Rodri of the Championship. He is exactly that. He's the Busquets of the Championship. He's cool, calm, collected. You try and take the ball off him. Next thing you know, he's past you. Moving along to Victor Torp, 7 out of 10. On another day, he scores one of those chances. And then the crosses from those corners were sublime. I don't even think he put one cross wrong. He was really good today in that midfield role, and it shows what we're missing when we have Jamie Allen or Josh Eccles there. Sakamoto, 6 out of 10, as I mentioned before. It's not his fault. He didn't get the ball today at all. It's not his fault. And that tackle that was made on him, that's a red card any day of the week. As there's VAR in the Championship, they're down to 10 men. That was a cynical tackle on Tat Sakamoto. He was almost off the pitch. There was no need to do it. It was knee high, red card all day for me. Mason Clark, you've got to give him an 8 for the goal, don't you? Everything went down his side today. He didn't necessarily do the greatest job of taking on his player. He sometimes lost the ball. And at times today, he didn't look as zippy as he usually is. But he scored the goal. He got us the 3 points. He definitely gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Moving along to Thomas Asante, quiet from him. I don't even remember anything from the game. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I didn't notice him at all. And again, that's not really his fault. He was just really quiet. And same with Hadji Wright. I'm going to give them a 6. They just didn't do anything. Hadji had a couple of chances that probably Thomas Asante, if he was in that position, he would have done a lot better. He's just so confusing as a football player, isn't he? He's got all the talent there. And a lot of people are just saying, oh, let's sell him. He hasn't scored in 5 games. You don't understand football if you want to sell him after 5 games. He scored 8 goals and we've only played 15 games in the league. He's still getting 1 goal every 2 games. That's a fantastic return rate. But there's just something not right. I think it's mentality with him, or it's got to be an injury again. It's one of those two. He either believes that he's not good enough, which I don't know how you believe that when you've got a better goals to game ratio than Victor Gyökeres had for Coventry, or it's that injury has just reoccurred and Lampard's just telling him to push through. But today was really disappointing from my point of view for Hadji. It just wasn't good enough again from him. And if he puts in another performance like that, a lot of people aren't going to have his back. Moving along to substitutions, Ellis Simms got to be a 7.5. He came on, he held up the ball well. He got that flick on for Mason Clark. If Hadji Wright was in that position, that would have not happened. Hadji wouldn't have jumped for the ball. Ellis Simms puts himself about when he comes off the bench and he made himself known. He got the assist. We got the goal. He's the reason why we won. Kessler Hayden came on for Mason Clark. You got to give him a 6. He didn't really do anything. Defended well, I guess, but I mean, he had 10 minutes to show himself. We can't really base anything off that performance. And then Jamie Allen, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. He came on for Victor Torp. I didn't notice him. He didn't really do anything. I guess he ran about because we were just trying to defend in the end. I didn't notice him at all in that game. I don't even know if he got any touches on the ball. But Kane Kessler Hayden and Jamie Allen just did the simple things and they kept it at a 1-0 victory. So I've got to praise them for that. Frank Lampard, what do I give him? The performance necessarily wasn't the greatest, but 3 points away at second in the league. It's got to be a 7.5. I think the subs, again, he did it again. Mason Clark in the last game came on and changed the game. Ellis Simms came on, changed the game. You've got to give him his kudos. Again, Frank Lampard. And we've only lost once all season long. We're top of the league. Coventry City are top of the league. This does not happen. So no matter what anybody tells you, no matter what anybody says about overreacting, it's only 15 games in. They don't know the story that Coventry, that we have gone through to get to this position. So celebrate it as much as you can, as much as you want. Watch all the highlights back as much as you can. Just soak in it. It'll be never this good as a Coventry City fan. I mean, I'm so tired, but I'm so happy we got the 3 points in the end. It makes it getting up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning when you get the victory, all that worthwhile instead of watching it on a repeat or replay. It's so worth it. Trust me 1000%. And I wish I could be in the UK being in the stadium with you guys, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I'm losing my throat. So that's my match reaction to Coventry City 1, Stoke City 0. We're 5 points clear of Middlesbrough in second spot. I think the gap all the way down to 7th in the league, which is 11 points. That is just absolutely mind-blowing. That shows that we can't drop out of the top 6 now. We've put that cushion there. If we drop out of the top 6, it's a failure of a season in my opinion. No one's guaranteed to go up top 2 or top 6, but we put ourselves in this position and it'd be really disappointing to drop out. But that's my match reaction. Coventry City 1, Stoke City 0. If you've enjoyed this match reaction, hit that like button and subscribe if you're a new Coventry City fan discovering this football channel, or if you're just an EFL Championship fan. I do that sort of content also on this account. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.